we continue the international theme of the speakers for this afternoon's session. We've had speakers from the United States and from Romania. Our next speaker is Professor Spyros Vassiliadis from the Technological Education Institute of Thessaloniki in Greece. Dr. Vassiliadis is Professor of Economics and Dean of the Faculty of Business Studies and Economics at Thessaloniki. He obtained his BA at the Economic University of Athens in Greece. He came over to the UK to get his MA in Quantitative Economics at the University of East Anglia, and then returned to Thessaloniki at the Aristotle University to obtain his PhD in Economics. In terms of professional experience, Dr. Vassiliadis is executive at the Greek Productivity Centre in Thessaloniki and financial manager in different exporting apparel and shoe factories in Greece. His paper is the technological developments, perspectives of employment and new qualification needs of the clothing industry, a challenge for the educational world. It's interesting, again, this tied in with aspects of the plenary sessions this morning, where it was stated there's a skills shortage in research and development. I think it's equally fair to say that in the future there may well be a skills shortage in the field of clothing technology. It's important that in education, degree programs are produced that prepare students for the real world. Too often educationalists have no connection with the industry, and it's encouraging to see Professor Vassiliadis adopting this approach to respond to the challenges of the future clothing industry. Particularly interesting for myself because it mirrors what we're doing at my university, not in terms of the clothing industry, but in terms of the textile industry. So I look forward to your paper with great interest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm going to start with some basic results of a study on employment development and qualification needs in the European clothing industry, elaborated by the Institute Français de la Mode on behalf of the Commission of the European Communities. The first of these results is that the European Union clothing and knitwear industry is going to lose about 35% of its production volume the last decade, the decade lasting this year. As a result of that, about 460,000 jobs, mostly low-skilled, are going to be lost. Blue-collar workers will strongly decrease in number, but their qualification will rise. Multi-skilling will become a basic requirement for 80% of them. Many senior managers of today will have to be made aware of the need for improving their strategic skills and increasing their efforts in this direction. Cutting staff will decrease and increasingly learn how to work on automated machinery. The proportion of finishing workers will grow as many reconditioning and finishing operations will still be done in the European Union, even though assembly might be delocalized. Supervisors and inspectors will decrease in percentage, and they will face growing requirements in human management and computer-related abilities. There will be an increase for designers who will have to become closer and more conscious of the production processes and constraints. In some countries, like Greece, I don't know about Egypt, there is a clear shortage of good designers, according to this study. The percentage of methods, technical management, and product development staff will increase. And finally, the largest rates of growth will concern administrative and managerial positions, especially in exports and marketing departments. You can see these basic results graphically by this bar chart. There are bars with red and bars with blue color. Red means decreasing demand. Decreasing demand for sewing machinists, cutters, finishing workers, and pressers, blue-collar workers, supervisors, and non-technical staff. And increase in pattern makers, designers, administration staff, and general personnel and export managers. The education and training world will have to back up these evolutions. First, by designing new curricula or upgrading existing ones in relation to new skills as logistics, outsourcing, foreign production control, international opening, human resources management, multi-skilling, strategy and marketing, and second, by getting closer to the industry, by designing modern forms of apprenticeship, industrial placement, and developing appropriate kinds of interaction with the clothing firms. During the last summer, we conducted in Greece a questionnaire survey having an objective to examine the needs of the clothing firms in new specialties. 118 Greek clothing companies participated to this survey. According to survey's results, the future needs of the companies in specialties by department are the following. In the area of administration and management, there is a great demand for personnel managers, administration managers, office workers, assistant administration managers. In the area of financial services, there is a big demand of cost accountants, computer programmers, accountants, assistant accountants, computer operators. In the production area, there is a big demand of modeler, pattern makers, designers, assistant pattern makers, production managers, cutters, sewing machinists, lay maker cutters, assistant cutters, head of new products design and developments. And finally, in the area of supplies, warehouse, sales and quality, there is a big demand for stores keepers, exports managers, sales managers, marketing managers, customers, service officers, and in the quality area, quality controllers and quality controller managers. As you can realize, high-skilled positions present strong demand in all departments. The Technological Education Institute of Thessaloniki, in which I'm teaching, intending to help the Greek clothing industry to get skilled professional people, started in 1999 a new department which is called Department of Clothing Design and Technology. The course, having the active support of the Knitting and Clothing Industries Association of Greece, combines the development of creative ability with the awareness of technological and business applications. The course content is broadly divided into 5 study areas. garment design, science and engineering, clothing materials, garment construction, management and marketing. Before graduation, students have to spend 6 months in industry placement and to submit a project. And I'm going now to conclude about the graduates' careers. They can have a career as designers, design managers, buyers, stylists, production and technical managers. And I'm going to conclude saying that in European clothing industry there is a gradual loss of low-skilled jobs and increasing demand of high-skilled jobs. Especially in Greece, there is also a high demand for high-skilled jobs. As personal managers, cost accountants, exports and sales managers, and quality control managers. The increasing needs for skilled personnel are mainly covered through training. Training has to be reasserted as an essential issue for the future. The gap between the higher education and the clothing industry can be bridged by the new established Department of Clothing Design and Technology in the Technological Institution of Thessaloniki. The Greek clothing industry, in order to obtain competitive advantage, according to Michael Porter's theory of competitive advantage, among else needs specialized factors: stylists, pattern makers, fashion designers, experts in technology, product quality, and marketing. Thank you very much.
Indeed, it's apparent that we do offer similar approaches, because my department of textiles in my university is part of a school that we call Design and Technology. And this mixture of design, technology, and the link with industry is what we're doing with textiles, and it's very interesting to see that you're doing the same with clothing, and I hope you're successful, so very interesting. Any questions for...
May I, Mr. Chairman?
Again,
It will be
please.
Thank you. I'm always surprised. Greece, Egypt, India, and all these countries have been very strong textile, having strong textile industries for time immemorial. Why suddenly you feel that you are lacking in all the skills? Is it the pressures from global companies? Sorry, have I made myself clear?
Yes, please. Sorry about...
Why suddenly
Yes.
these countries with long history in textile industry suddenly find they are lacking in skills? Is it because of the pressure from global companies to meet their large volumes in minimum time, lowest price, and very fashionable items, and all this sort of pressures?
I could say for Greece, I'm not sure about the other countries, but for Greece, after subcontracting, we didn't need any of these skills. And we used to be some subcontractors for about 30 years. Now we send clothes to other Balkan countries to do the same thing for us. And we realize now that we need these other skills, which is exporting, marketing, management, accounting, designing, and other similar skills. Unfortunately, this is true for Greece. I'm not sure about the other countries. It may be the same. And now in Greece, and possibly in some of these countries you mentioned, the cost of labor is not so low. It's going up and up, which means that we should produce product of fashion, which means more value-added products, which means the necessity of using new skills. And unfortunately, we realized this thing lately in Greece.
Thank you. A question from here.
Yes, please.
I would like to ask you. I would like to ask you. You've done a lot of research. That is why what is the demand of the local market is. That is why you introduced new studies and new courses in your university. It was like a response for the local demand. But are you still carrying out doing all this marketing, doing all this research in order to find out maybe the next year the market will need something else, or maybe in 2 years' time the skills that you are teaching to will be so successful in Greece?
We are trying, we are not in our studies, we are not so narrow. We are trying to give to the students a wider area of knowledge, which is a combination of creative ability, but not only this. We combine this creative ability, which is necessary for a designer, for example, with the knowledge of new technologies, so they can be used in production as well. But and even as designers, they should know new technology for designing, computer designing, and the business environment as well. So we try to combine all these three dimensions.
Do you keep in touch with local clothing companies?
Yes, of course. This study that I mentioned was conducted with the help and the cooperation of the Clothing and Knitting Industries Association of Greece. That's why we did that, to understand and to realize what they are going to use and what they are asking for the near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.